Tortured means your nails get pulled out, they break your bones, they hang you from the ceilings, they burn you with cigarettes. In some cases, they pulled out some people's eyes. So it's not something you can tolerate.
The Sednaya prison in Damascus was a hellhole, a human slaughterhouse to which Syrians were sent, often without trial. Many never heard from again. They believe that as many as 30,000 have died since 2011. The work to free those who survived has been ongoing since Saturday night, and still this morning they continued a frantic search through the prison's underground network. Outside, families waited, desperate for news, still clinging to hope that a lost relative would be found. Omar Alshoge survived 3 years inside the Sednaya prison. He escaped the day that he was supposed to be executed. And since then, he's been living in exile in Sweden. Omar, you're very welcome to the programme. Thank you for being with us. Tell me about your story. How did you end up in this prison?
Well, I was a regular teenager, 15 years old, have no understanding of politics or diplomacy or corruption or democracy. And there was a beautiful protest happening in my hometown. I joined for many reasons. To be honest with you, I joined because everybody was there. And I joined because the girl I was in love with was there. So I attended because everyone was there. Without understanding what was happening, it was just people carrying flowers, roses in their hands and asking for freedom. It sounds really nice to me, so I attended. And as a consequence of that, I was arrested and I was tortured. And then I was released, but then I was arrested again when I was 17, and I thought I would be released shortly. But years later, I found myself closer to death than anything else. I was tortured and forced to give false confessions. And in terms of tortured, now when all the kids in England are asleep, I can say it clearly. Tortured means your nails get pulled out, they break your bones, they hang you from the ceilings, they burn you with cigarettes. In some cases, they pulled out some people's eyes. So it's not something you can tolerate. So when the officer gives you an order to say that you killed, you say you killed, even though at that time nobody died. So I gave the false confession they want me to give, so the pain would stop.
And at that point, you were then told you would be executed, and you were taken out of the prison for a mock execution. Not that you knew it was a mock execution. How did you manage to escape?
I have the most wonderful mother you could ever imagine. My mom has managed to, over 3 years, to find a way to bribe everyone in the system, from the top to the bottom, even the execution guards. And the technical way of it is someone was actually supposed to be released and I was supposed to be executed. They executed that person and registered him dead with my name, and I was taken out of prison with his name. My mom didn't know about the method, but she paid the money, so everybody smuggles me out. And that information we were informed about after I got out.
There were thoughts that there would be tens of thousands of people in this prison. There were thousands who came out over the last 2 days. Where are the rest?
The rest, I can tell you, are dead. People died under torture. That's sad. It's very sad to share. But we had endless number of people dying every single day. In the 3 years I spent in prison, I saw over 17,000 people dead with me in these prisons. That's only 3 years. This has been going on for 14 years. And I have not been in prison in the worst years of the dictatorship. So I unfortunately will tell you what I think is the truth.
Why?
Most of the families are waiting for dead members of their families.
One thing that did surprise me when I looked at the pictures today, there are children in these cells. Why are there children there?
There are children because the regime arrests children, but also the regime arrests women and they rape women, and the women give birth in jail. And between the walls, the children get brought to this world, and they die or they grow up in that cell, not knowing what a bird means.
These children that are coming out are coming out into the daylight for the first time ever?
Yeah, and those are many. You saw one on the cameras, but there are many. This is not a new thing to the Syrian regime. This has happened year after year.
Omar, thank you very much for telling us your story.